Hey everyone, it's Jenny and welcome back to my channel. This story ain't over. So today I'm coming to you with a fun little challenge video. So I've done this challenge, or the first version of the challenge before, which is, do you have that book? And I'll link it down below if you guys want to see, but this is the new version of this challenge, I guess. It's called Do You Have That Other Book challenge, and I've been seeing this going around and I'm a little bit late to the party as per usual, but it's totally fine. So this was created by Keeping Tabs and Current Chapter, so I'll leave their channels linked down below. But basically the way that this challenge works is that there are a bunch of questions about a certain aspect of a book, and you're supposed to find a book on your shelves that, you know, fulfills that question. And so you're supposed to try and do this as fast as you can without having looked at the questions before. So I couldn't watch anyone else's video because I didn't want to spoil the questions. So this is my first time seeing these questions. So we'll see how this goes. I have them on my iPad here, so we're just gonna read them and then go. First one, do you have a book with a fox on the cover or part of the plot? Yes. I have Wicked Fox by Coutucono. It's technically not like a real fox, it is a gumiho, which is like a fox from Korean mythology, but still counts. Do you have a book that was published the year you were born or within a 3-year radius? What? Yes, I do. I just don't know where it is. Oh my god. This is stressing me out. When was this published? Three-year radius. Three-year radius. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I was born in 1997, and this one says copyright 1994. So this edition was published in 1994. I'm assuming. I don't actually know about all the editions, but we're gonna take it. I really hope I don't go in and out of focus every time, but whatever. Question number 3. Do you have a book with music as a weapon or magic? Yes. This is one of my favorite books ever, and it's The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, and one of the main characters, August, is a monster, and he has this ability or like magical power where he plays his violin and kind of sings people into submission, and they kind of do whatever he wants, and from there he can also steal their souls. So that's kind of cool, and it's technically a weapon, so it counts. Also, can I just say how unique these questions are? I am loving it. Next one is, do you have a series with mismatched covers? Yes. I have Mirage. Yes. So I have Mirage by Somaya Dowd, which is the first book in this duology / series, and then the second book is Court of Lions. And they are mismatched because this was the original cover and they switched to these kind of illustrated ones. So there's a new cover for the paperback of Mirage. There is no kind of like original hardback version for this one. This one is just like straight illustrated. So they're very mismatched, but the spines look kind of nice together. Number 5, do you have a book with a shapeshifter? Yes. No. Yes. Vengeful by Victoria Schwab, V.E. Schwab, sorry, I should say, has a character in it, I think their name is June, who is basically a shapeshifter. The characters in these books, in like Vicious and Vengeful, all have some sort of like ability, kind of like the X-Men, and so her ability is to shapeshift into kind of any person she wants. I feel like these questions would be kind of hard for anyone who doesn't really read fantasy, but regardless. Number 6, do you have a book signed by the author? Yes. We're gonna go with one of my faves, 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And I picked up this one because I went to her signing, and look at that, it's adorable. It says to Jenny, she signed it, and she says the heart is an arrow, which is a quote from the book that was said by Inej, I think. And this was one of my favorite signings that I ever went to, so loved it. Number 7, do you have a book with a mostly red cover? Yes. Mostly red cover. I would be way faster at this if I wasn't balancing the iPad too. But Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar is mostly red, and don't even argue with me that this is orange. It's red, people. Yeah, it's an adorably cute cover with a trans main character, and I'm so excited to pick this up very soon. All right, question number 8 is, do you have a book between 287 pages and 306 pages? This is insane. 287, 306. Oh, damn it. Go slower. Oh. 6. Nope. Nope. Oh, this one. Aha! Okay, I found one after many tries, and it is Rules for Being a Girl by Candace Bushnell and Katie Coutucono. I actually really love this book. It is a feminist book, and it deals with sexual assault, and it was just so well done. And it is exactly 293 pages. But can I just say though that a lot of those books were really deceptively skinny, but they were like 350 pages, and I was like, what? The next question is number 9. Do you have a book with a main character who wears glasses? Yes. I think the main character in Fangirl, Kath, wears glasses, and the illustration at the front of the book shows her wearing glasses, so I'm gonna say she wears glasses. Yeah. Oh, I realized I could have just said Harry Potter, but here we are. Number 10, do you have a book with a title that has the same number of letters as your first name? My name is Jenny. It's 7 letters. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can tell, I gravitate to this middle shelf because it's like right there. But Vicious by V.E. Schwab is 7 letters, and so that fits the challenge. It's the same number of letters as my name. Okay. Next question is number 11. Do you have a book with cybercrime / technology as a plot point? Yes, I do. This is one of my all-time favorite books, and that is Little Brother by Cory Doctorow. And this is about a bunch of teens who are hackers and are like starting this revolution through hacking when the government kind of institutes this like lockdown and like state control, and the State Department like gets a bunch of control over the regular citizen. It's like all Big Brother, someone's watching you all the time. And it is the coolest book, and I learned so much about computers from this book, so very cool. Number 12, do you have a book written in another language or translated to English? Yes, I do. So I have The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa, and this was translated from Japanese. I did not know that when I bought this, but yes, I have not read it yet. I'm very excited to though. It's an adult sci-fi literary novel, so very excited to read it. Question number 13, do you have a book written by an Asian author? Yes. So I have The Star-Touched Queen, which is by Roshni Chokshi, and she is half Filipina and half, I think, Indian. But I also have like 1,000 books that could have fit that challenge. Number 14, do you have a book with a moon on the cover? Oh my god. Do I have a book with a moon on the cover? Yes, I do. So Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu, it has like these little moons on the cover, and in the book there's like this Kingdom of Back. It's like this fantasy world where there are multiple moons. Number 15, do you have an illustrated children's book? Yes. So I have a little like baby children's board book here. I don't know if you can see it properly with the lighting, but it's called Fairy Tiptoe and Other Fairy Stories, and it's one of my favorite little books that I had when I was a kid. It's illustrated, and it's like a bunch of short stories about this fairy girl who lives in this fairy world and goes around doing fun little things. Number 16, do you have a collection of fairy tales or myths? Yes, I do. I have... So I have 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. This is edited by Ellen O and Elsie Chapman, and it's a bunch of Asian mythology inspired stories by Asian authors, and there's a bunch of options that I really like in this. It's not straight like fairy tales and myths, but they are inspired, which I think kind of counts. Number 17, do you have a sci-fi fantasy with an alliance between races? Yes, I do. So I have Morningstar by Pierce Brown. This is the 3rd book in the Red Rising series, and I picked up this one specifically because there's a strong element of an alliance that happens in this book between 2 different races in the book. Number 18, do you have a book with a narrow front cover? Paperback with a front cover that is slightly trimmed shorter / narrower than the rest of the book. I don't really know what this means, but I'm assuming it's like one of these is what they're trying to go for. Do you have a book with a narrow front cover? Paperback with a front cover that was slightly trimmed shorter, narrower than the rest of the... Oh, wait, I think I know. So I think what the question means is one of these, where there's like this front cover flap that is like shorter than the rest of the book. And so this is for Warcross by Marie Lu. This is the paperback edition of the first book. I also have this in hardcover because I love this book to pieces, but there you go. Number 19, do you have a book that includes the first chapter of the sequel? Yes. I have. Yes, okay. So in this edition of Shadow and Bone that I have by Leigh Bardugo, this is like the newer paperbacks, they do have the first chapter of Siege and Storm in the back. It took me a minute to figure that one out. I know I have a hardcover that has the first chapter of the next book in the back, but I can't remember which one. Number 20, and this is the second last question. Do you have a book with a broken spine? Yes. Broken. So this is the most broken one I could find, which is the Coutucono by Emily Rada. This is a book I had when I was like 9, and obviously I was a little less careful, but yeah, there's like a perfect break right there in the middle of this book. Okay, and the last question is the bonus question, and it says, do you have a book that covers 3 or more of the above prompts? Oh my god, 3 or more of the above prompts. This is way too hard for my brain to handle, so I'm just gonna skip that. But that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed kind of picking up, finding books on my shelves that I wouldn't normally like think of in that way. I hope you guys enjoyed this and kind of saw some new books on my shelves. I know I gravitated towards the same ones. I felt like I was pretty quick with most of these, and like my full raw footage for this video is about 20 minutes. I'm looking at the clock right now, so not bad. But yeah, I'm hoping to do like a full kind of rearranging of my shelves, so hopefully you can look forward to that and I can go through more of my books then. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please check out my Instagram and Twitter in the description down below if you want to hear more updates on my reading. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and please remember that this story ain't over. Bye!